Hey guys, it's Patrick2256 here, aka DOS Ownage from the web series Patrick Plays, which airs every Monday and Thursday on the DOS Gaming Network YouTube channel. This is my daily vlog number 8, and as you can see, I'm still quite under the weather, and I apologize that once again I'm not going to have a lot of things to tell you as far as what happened to me during my day because I've been in bed all day once again. Um, when I say extremely sick, I would I would almost say that that's a understatement. Um, don't get me wrong, I'm not bedridden or anything like that. I've been able to get up and you know go to the bathroom and things like that by myself. But other than that, it's been very basic. I just ate and I'm trying to keep something down because it's been 2 days since I've been able to keep anything down. And it's lucky for me that I am a big guy because otherwise I'd probably be, uh, you know, really malnourished since it's been 2 days, but I guess this bigness is helping me out right now. Uh, I've been drinking as many fluids as I can, uh, water, a little bit of green tea, which was a horrible idea. Well, that immediately was expelled orally. But anyways, as far as things I've did today, um, this morning, uh, I sent my boss a text just letting him know that I wouldn't be coming in, and the reason is he sent me a text last night because uh, Jim, that's my boss. He's actually the best boss I've ever had, hands down. He's the greatest guy in the world. He'll help anybody. He'll do anything for you. And coming from someone who sells homes and things like that, that's extremely rare because in this business, it's very it's not like a used car lot or anything like that, but it's very shark eats shark. Like you have to do well in order to make good money, which we do really well. But he hasn't let that get to him, and I think that's because of his character. He's got really strong character. He's a really decent guy. Can't say that about most people these days, honestly, unfortunately. But anyways, he sent me a text last night, and he was like, "Don't come into work sick tomorrow, man. Just stay at home and get better." And I didn't get that text until this morning because I I got on here, I did my vlog. I think I tried to play a little bit of gaming, went and passed out and slept all the way through the night. And then I got his text the next morning and sent him a text telling him, thanks, I won't be coming in. I'm gonna try to get better. Excuse me. But anyways, sent that text this morning, got out of bed, jumped in the shower, tried to shave. I like shaved right here and stopped because I just wasn't feeling. I felt really uh, really dizzy. So I just decided to wash my face and just go lay back down. And I've been in bed until 10 minutes ago when I got out of bed again. So as nothing at all has happened today. I didn't even have any dreams I could tell you about. So instead of just telling you a bunch of nonsense, I decided to give you another rant, a little quick rant, just like my gaming rant from yesterday, or my gaming game ratings rant from yesterday. And this one's going to be about a topic that I think a lot of us probably have pretty strong feelings about. And what it is when whatever happened to the days when you could purchase a game and everything was on the disc or the cartridge. I mean, these new gamers that are coming out, these budding millennials who are just getting into gaming, they've never experienced a complete game, in my opinion. I mean, they look at a game that doesn't have to have like a DLC or doesn't have microtransactions. They look at that kind of stuff kind of like the way we look at unicorns and nymphs and mythical beasts. Like they've never experienced it, so they don't know that it really existed. And like we've come to the point in the gaming industry where consumers will buy whatever the developers shovel out. And not only will they buy it, they'll buy it in massive, massive quantities. There are still a few holdouts, but even holdouts like me, I try not to buy anything like that. But we're getting swept up in the tide. I mean, it's come to a point where you can either purchase, the DLC or the certain microtransactions, and don't get me wrong about the microtransactions. Microtransactions can be good if it's in a free to play game. I have no problem with that. They have to make their money somewhere. Ads in games, I don't have any problem with that as long as it's a free to play game because you have to make money. Developers have to live, they have to eat, they have families, they're people just like you and I. So, more power to you. I have no problem with that. But I do have a problem with microtransactions and certain types of DLC in big budget games that have ridiculous budgets. I mean, like, there's no reason for it. You're just being greedy. And, anyways, we've come to a point where people who don't buy that stuff are getting swept away because it's either you can go and purchase those things to keep up and be able to play the same games as your comrades and friends, or you can just get left behind and I guess either play an incomplete game or not. You have paywalls where you don't have access to certain parts of games. But let me see here. Video game developers like Bungie and like Rockstar, as I said before, they have budgets in the hundreds of millions of dollars range. There's absolutely no reason, in my personal opinion, that they should have microtransactions. And Bungie's the worst offender with Destiny. And there will be Destiny people who come out of the woodwork and defend Bungie, which I call them Bungie apologists. That's what they are. They're just apologists. They're like, nothing that Bungie can do. If you think console fanboys are bad, you need to meet someone who is like deeply, deeply convinced that Bungie is the truth. Like it's crazy. I've gotten into arguments with people and some of the common things you'll hear, especially on the Bungie forums. If you've ever been on the Bungie.net forums, I'm a member. I've been a member since I think I was gonna say 1999, but 2002, 2003, something like that. So I've been there for a long time, but it has never been as toxic as it is right now with Destiny. I mean, if you say anything anti Bungie or anti Destiny on those forums, they descend upon you like Cerberus and the Hounds of Hell. Like it's horrible. You can't say anything, even small things. I got in an argument with a guy. It must have been a year ago now, on the Bungie forums, and he he was like, we were arguing over microtransactions. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been a year ago because it's when the Skull Mask came out. If you've ever played Destiny, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a DLC during the um, what is it called? I forgot what they called it. It was like a festival of the Lost. That's what they called it, but it's Halloween. There was a mask that was a blue skull that was on fire, and everybody wanted this mask, right? And not only was it a microtransaction to get the mask, but Bungie took it a troll step farther. Not only did you have to pay for the mask, it was random if you would even receive the mask. So there were people who paid up to 300 real world dollars to purchase silver and just re-roll and re-roll and re-roll trying to get that blue mask. My DOS Blaze, my own captain of my DOS gaming clan, he spent $40. I've never let him live it down. He spent $40 re-rolling for a blue skull mask, a in-game thing that has no real substance. It's not real, and I think he wore it once. I mean, it's just nuts the things that these developers will put out there and people will purchase. But anyways, I got into this argument with this guy, and he was like, it's just a microtransaction. You don't have to purchase it. It doesn't change anything in the game. I argued that yes, it does. If everyone starts purchasing those microtransactions, pretty soon Bungie will start putting things in the game that will affect the game. Like they'll put things in that'll help people level up faster and stuff like that. And sure enough, not even a month later, they put in this spark of light, where if you are just starting to play the game, you can use a spark of light that will magically take a level 0 character all the way up to level 25 just by using a spark of light. And it made me furious. It didn't make me furious. It made me sad, honestly. That's what it made me. Because instead of Bungie taking all of the old raids and making them relevant, because what Bungie did is they basically made paywalls. Every time new content came out, they make a paywall where everyone on the old raid and old content were level capped at like level 30 or whatever, and then so on and so forth. They just they made it so you couldn't access the other content, and that included content that you had previously been able to access, like things like the daily missions. If it happened to be one of the new missions that randomly, you couldn't play it. If the weekly nightfall, which was a big thing for getting exotics, uh, if it was one of the newer missions, you couldn't play the nightfall anymore. So things that you had access to previously before the new content came out, you no longer had access to sometimes. So I would say about 70% of the time, it would be new content that you couldn't play. So if you were still on Destiny 1.0 when Destiny The Taken King came out, you were just SOL. And I had a huge problem with that. And like I said, I argued with this guy, told him, like, if you guys keep on doing this kind of stuff, keeps on purchasing all this nonsense, it's going to make it where it gets to a point where they'll just put out random stuff to make it so we can't. Let me see it. Let me rephrase this. If you keep on purchasing this content, then Bungie will make it so that they'll put things in there like missions and stuff like that you can only purchase, or actually you purchase a gun that would be the end product of a mission and things like that. Now, as far as I know, they haven't done that yet, but I see it on the horizon. If they can get away with this stuff in Destiny 1 and Destiny the Taken King, when Destiny 2 comes out, man, it's gonna be in my opinion, it'll probably be a shitstorm. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, and I'm just it's come to a point where games are launching with season passes, because season passes and microtransactions are now coming. They're becoming the norm instead of like something that only a few games have. Games are launching, multiplayer games especially, are launching now with day one DLC. The developers, whoever created D1 DLC, I'm gonna find out who you are. You need to be slapped across your fucking face. I'll, you, you'll never be forgiven. Like I can't understand why anyone would have thought that was a great idea, but the developers went with it, and apparently people bought it. So now it's become like a thing that some developers do, and that's what these new gamers don't understand. Everything you do has a consequence. Like kids have come to a point where they don't, and I say kids, I mean, I'm talking all the way up to like 20, 18, 20-year old grown individuals. They've come to a point, they've been raised in the society where you just get what you want, and the fastest, easiest way to get it is the best way. So they'll just purchase it. If they have enough money, they'll purchase their way into anything. And that's the problem. Like it's a core problem with a society, but in the gaming industry, it's just running rampant. Like the gaming industry has become a microcosm of like you can see how things are in our society just by looking at the gaming industry, you know? And I know I'm rambling, but I'm halfway incoherent, so I apologize if some of the things I'm saying probably don't make that much sense to you. Um, but with everyone purchasing these games with day one DLC, or with DLC at all, developers have started to release games that are incomplete. That's what I'm getting at. They're releasing incomplete games. Bungie is horrible about it. They did it with Destiny. Destiny released, the year one Destiny released, it didn't even have a story. It literally had no story at all. You just played a few missions, and then they were like, in a week we're going to open up the raid. And then we raided. That's all we did. And it was just mindless raiding. And since it was new and it was something we had never had the experience of doing before on consoles, especially like joining up with five other teammates for a fire team of six to go into a raid. Don't get me wrong, I had a ball. I mean, I put hundreds of hours into Destiny. I probably have, I don't even know, probably 300 hours in that game. And a lot of people will argue, they'll say, oh, well, if you, like, Destiny's not a bad game because you put so many hours in it. Well, you can put all those hours into something mindless like Minecraft, or it's not Minecraft, I'm sorry, Minecraft is actually pretty good. Minesweeper or Solitaire. That doesn't mean it's a great game. If you put 150 hours into Solitaire, does that make it like an amazing AAA blockbuster? No, it's just something you get for free on your desktop when you buy Windows. That's all I'm saying. What I'm saying is people need to realize that they don't have to buy this stuff. And if you stop buying and you stop pre-ordering these games that have these DLCs and things like that, the gaming companies won't put it out anymore because there's no sense of putting out stuff that people won't buy. So they'll hopefully start to uh, re-implement those things in the actual core game itself. So you'll get it all at a day one purchase the way we used to. I mean, back in the day, if you bought Donkey Kong Country and half the game was behind a paywall, we'd lose our minds. If you paid $49.99 for a game and it was incomplete, you'd be furious. But now, you know what people do? They pull out their credit card as soon as they hit that paywall and they start typing in the number. And that's the problem with gamers these days. And hopefully this whole thing wasn't just like me being incoherent and rambling on about nonsense, because I hope it's not. But like I said, I'm extremely sick, so I'm just trying to get my opinion out there, as fuzzy as it may be at the moment. But anyways, this is Patrick 2256, aka DOS Ownage, signing out. Have a good day, week, year, everything.